All right, so this actually brings us to our next topic where like we said, a men's event is being dominated by a woman at her best event at her namesake meet. Meet. Shout out to Miss Ledecky, going under or breaking 15 in the 1650, starting to go some guy times. Like I remember that made NCAAs as a man when I was in school. So
wow.
Yeah. What do you I know you probably could care less, but what do you think about it?
I mean, as much as I hate distance swimming and as boring as it is, great athletes are great athletes. You got to respect that, she's dominated the field for ever. So, when I heard when she broke 15, my first question was, is that good? Because I don't know. But I mean, everyone online's going crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the meet is named after her. Like, that's GOAT. That's GOAT status, man.
So here's my thing about it, though, right? One, kind of like what you said, like people are trying to make a mountain out of a molehill with this. Mm-hmm. I think it's more because she's Ledecky than it is. Yeah. This is impressive. And it is impressive. But the thing is, like I said, like this was over a decade ago that this was like probably put you like fourth going into national championships because 45 would win it back then. Right. So it's like, that's like me being like trying to hype up going 132 still. You see what I mean? Like, yeah.
Even though she's a woman?
Impressive. Say what?
Even though if she's a woman?
No, that's completely different. But I just mean like the comparison of like she's going guy times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like it's like, yeah, it'd be impressive, but like, so I think we're at a time where a girl could probably go a 136 in the 2 free. And yeah, that'd be super awesome. But like at the same time, that won high school state in Texas. When I was in 09, when I was in school. Right. Yeah. So
there's no comparison.
Yeah. Like what are we kind of talking about?
And that's why you can't. That's why you can't.
The real part of this, because she's at Florida now, right?
Yes.
So what do you think about, I don't know how long she's been there. I guess I should look that up. I'm gonna look it up while I let you answer this question. What do you think about, or what do you think is the factor that's probably attributing the most to her seeming like resurrection, like the mental state being in Florida, the state of Florida, which people don't like that, but it's probably a lot to do with it. The training environment, the coaches, the athletes she's training with. What do you think is probably playing the biggest factor to her revival as being the queen of distance swimming again?
I've always thought good performance is kind of a combination of all of those aspects. First of all, I know you're biased with Texas, but someone who's lived in Florida for quite some time, Sunshine State.
2021. She's been there 4 years.
That's enough time to do some damage.
Yeah.
So Sunshine State, getting that natural vitamin D. Pause. Getting
shout Lithuania.
Seriously. But there's something to be said with a positive environment, and she's probably got better people to train with. Probably got a different outlook with new coaching. I think there's a combination of all of those factors that help with performing. Happy athletes perform great.
I think it's probably the state, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
I think the energy, especially now with kind of what's happening in California, businesses are leaving, like all that stuff, right? And just being in a state where there's just sun all the time. Like people I'm gonna tell you a story. I'll tell you a story actually. People underestimate the power of the sun, like completely, especially people who are used to the sun. Okay, so when I moved to North Carolina, right? So it was me, Katie Miley, Michael Lawrence, Michael Summerall now, and I hope I'm not leaving anybody else out, but I want to say that there was 4 of us from Texas, right? But definitely those 3, right? Mm-hmm. So I get up there, and I remember my first day there, it was like, for like a month, it was like rainy, but it wasn't hard rain. It was just like drip, drip
Oh yeah,
from the
that's
sky. And I was like, I feel funny, like I feel weird. And it was like that for a whole month, right? No sun comes out. Then we have the it snows, right? And I'm not gonna, David was like, hey, come to practice if you think you can make it, or stay at home. And I'm like, I've never driven the snow before. Like, taking this week off, David. Like, and then so it comes around to March, right? And I remember the sun came out, and all three of us were like bouncing off the walls, like we were on uppers. It was wild. Like I was like, yo, like what's going on? And like, so I remember like I think Ariana was like, why are you acting so weird? And it just hit me, and I was like, oh, the sun. And I was like, oh, so that like stuff about people, like, how Seattle has that like unaliving themselves rumor, right?
Yeah, seasonal depression
Stereotype. I was like, dang, I get it now. Like that stuff's actually for real, for real. So I think being in a sunny place, where it's a lot more laid back and no income tax, I bet that has a huge piece to do with it. So shout out to Katie.
I told you last week when we were talking about altitude training, and I said the best swimmers are from Florida and California. So
yeah, that's right, because California does have a lot of sun though too. So,
sunshine states. Yeah. Trust me, I'm a big fan of the sun. Being from the Bahamas, when that winter hits, when I was training at Kentucky, miserable, just miserable.
Yeah.
But the best swimming I ever did with when I moved to Miami South Beach to train, oh my gosh, you just want to go to practice. You be happy to jump in the pool. It's crazy.
You know what they say, man? Superman is black.
Gotta be.
Gets his power from the sun. That's a Negro. Right. Anyway, shout out to Katie. Congratulations, showing out at your namesake meet.